Welcome, my name is Ricky, my fellow Toastmasters, guests, and online community. Today I will be interviewing one of my great friends in Toastmasters. I like to call her Paper Karen because that's her email handle. I won't give you the rest. But she's one of my favorite people at Liberty Toastmasters. She was my mentor, so she helped me get started. She corrected a bunch of my speeches at one point, so she helped me out with that. And she's got a great story and a idea that she wants to pass on to everyone at the end of this interview. So Karen, I want to start off by having you introduce us to you a little bit. You grew up in Denver area, not Denver, but Denver area, right?
That's right. I was born in Denver, but I grew up in Aurora, which is a suburb just to the east of Denver. I lived in the same house all through my childhood till I was old enough to leave home and go to college. I had a brother. His name was Kent. He was a year and a half, a little more than a year and 3/4 younger than I. It was just the two of us kids, my mom, my dad, Margaret, Bernie. He also went by Bunny. And
Not a bunny though.
I'm not quite sure how I think I do remember the story of how he got that nickname. He had big ears and like a bunny's ears.
Gotcha.
And, well, my brother Kent and I played together a lot, and, well, we grew up. It was a nice neighborhood, suburb.
Gotcha. And if I remember correctly, you couldn't wait to uproot yourself and leave the green pastures of Colorado to go to a greener area known as Boston for college, correct?
I wouldn't put it quite that way. I wasn't that anxious to leave, but I felt that I had reached the age where that's what was expected of me, and I had gone ahead and applied to MIT, also to the University of Colorado, which might have made more sense in some ways. But it seemed like since I did get accepted at MIT, which I hadn't necessarily expected to get, but I had, it seemed like since my father said he could afford to pay for it, that it would be a shame to turn down that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so, although I wasn't exactly anxious to do it, I decided to do it, to be adventurous.
Gotcha. So it's more about your adventurous spirit.
I think so, yes.
And that adventurous spirit is what also led you out to California, or was it more the graduate school?
It was, well, let's put it this way. I had graduated, but before I graduated, I had my senior year, and that's where you have to think about what you're going to do afterwards. I decided to go to graduate school, so I applied to quite a number of them, and I wasn't able to get into the top schools in my field. But there were two schools that were about equal that I got into, and those two were the University of Illinois and the University of California, San Diego. And I thought, would I rather live in Illinois,
right,
in the cornfields,
right,
or San Diego by the ocean? We had vacationed there, and I remembered it was quite beautiful. So, besides, it was a little closer, I think, to Denver. I decided I was a Westerner. I decided I wanted to live in the West. Maybe not in Denver, but in the West. So, that's how I decided on UC San Diego.
Gotcha. So sunshine and beaches and Mexican food.
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha. And after college, your first job, or maybe the job that was the most stable job for you, was General Atomics?
General Dynamics.
General Dynamics, okay.
Yes.
And then you were a programmer, a programming engineer. Tell us about that.
My title was engineer, and it involved mostly programming. When I first started, I was working with these things called surface acoustic wave devices. I helped design them. I wrote the code that would design them. And as the years went by, I was doing different kinds of programming, changed languages as things got updated, Fortran, C++, and so on.
Holy shnikes! Did you just say Fortran and C++? You get into
Yes.
the deep code there.
Well, not as deep as assembly language.
Well, yeah, well. Who codes in assembly? Come on. But hey, that's awesome. That's
Maybe
cool.
some people.
Maybe some people. I won't mention any names, right?
Right.
And that led you into your new kind of hobby for retirement in app development, correct?
Yes.
And then you also developed, I really like the app you showed me where it's, just tell us about it. Tell us the app where you find bathrooms, something like that, right?
Oh, okay. Well, my first app was Fingerpainting,
Oh, yes.
and then I made an app at the request of a friend of mine who had a transgender son. She had found that he had a hard time finding bathrooms where he felt comfortable, and that an app would be a good thing. So I made an app that the idea is that if you find a bathroom where it just holds one person, or it's designated as gender neutral, or all gender is what they seem to be saying these days, you can add it to this app. It'll show up on a map and give directions and so on. So that's an app I developed. I don't claim that it's being used very much, but it has had at least 1,000 downloads, so I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, well, someone may have downloaded the app and added a bathroom that they went to in Imperial Beach.
Yay!
It's very intuitive. It's simple to use. I thought that was very well done. I like the little pictures that you used to make it work. Your finger painting app, I thought that was kind of interesting. Where the little drawing you have, that was kind of interesting. And you and your brother are working on an app that's supposed to study the brain?
Kind of. It uses an accessory that picks up brain waves and sends them via Bluetooth to your phone, and you can video yourself while you are practicing, well, say archery, for example. And you can make a video that shows what your focus level is and your relaxation level as you are maybe aiming your arrow or golfing or any number of activities. Hopefully that would help people get better at their sports.
I'd probably use it for my Toastmaster speeches.
It
Put
might
put
work.
that device on my head. It'll tell me if I'm breathing correctly or if I'm relaxed enough to give my speech correctly.
Yes.
I'll probably be failing it all the time, though.
You can get better with practice.
But I can get better with practice. I love it. Hey, Karen, to conclude this interview, which thank you so much, I love how you've taken what you learned from Toastmasters and you speak so well. You're one of the most well-spoken people I know, and I admire that about you and your choice of words for certain topics, whether you believe in them or not. I've always admired that about you. Is there anything you'd like to leave us as your audience before we end the interview tonight?
Moderation in all things, and be active. Don't just veg out. Go out and meet people in person. Don't rely on Facebook for all your social interactions. That's what I'd like to leave everyone with.
Amen. Well, Karen, thank you. It's been a pleasure interviewing you. And with that's a cut.